So this is my bottom preview, full-time preview for Rhiannon and Dixon versus Terri Harper, which was supposed to be Dalton Smith versus Fernandez. That got postponed because of an injury. It was supposed to be Johnny Fisher versus Andre Redento, but then that got postponed because of an injury. So they decided to move it to Sheffield, and yet Dixon and Harper obviously headline. So let's get straight into it then. Starting off then with George Liddard versus George Davey, which is quite a good fight to be fair. Quite a good fight to start off the card. To start off this small card in Sheffield. George Liddard 8-0 record, while George Davey got the 9 wins, the 1 defeat and the 1 draw. The 1 defeat of course was within the one of the fight of the year contenders, and Josh Phantom of course, which was a very good fight, a pittance fight as well. And George Davey obviously got the knockdown as well in that fight. Obviously it wasn't enough to win. And it's a good step up for George Liddard. Good step up for George Liddard as well. And that's what I can see it. I can see it being one of them pittance fights for me between the both of them. They were very tough out early on in the fight. Then midway the fight it will start to heat up, and George Liddard could get a knockdown George Davey. But George Davey's dangerous. He can get that knockdown on you. So I think it's going to be like a Josh Phantom fight. I really do. I think it's going to be an absolute cracker between George Liddard and George Davey. But I have done for George Liddard to get the win on points against George Davey. Up next then is Cameron Fon, 5-0 record up against Joe Hughes, who's got 8 wins and 3 defeats. Obviously Joe Hughes, of course, with that defeat. And again Joe Hughes, we saw him against the most notable fight I saw him against was Sam Maxwell all them years ago, obviously when we were in lockdown. What a fight that was as well. What a fight that was. It's the right step up for Cameron Fon. It's the right step up, of course, in his last fight against Jeff Foley. It was quite underwhelming from Cameron Fon, quite underwhelming. Maybe because Jeff Foley was that come forward fighter and Cameron Fon was using his movement while doing. Don't get me wrong, Cameron Fon won that fight. He won that fight. And he won that fight by using his movement while the win, using that jab. I wonder if he'll do that again. Potentially, but I think Cameron Fon's done me more front footed this time in this fight against Joe Hughes. I think he'll be the more front footed fighter, and I think Cameron Fon, I do think he stops Joe Hughes midway. I think he stops him midway through. It should play into Cameron Fon's hands for me, unlike Jeff Foley. Jeff Foley is actually quite a tough opponent for Cameron Fon. Wow. This fight, I actually think it will suit Cameron Fon more, and he will get back to knocking his opponent out in this fight. And having done for Cameron Fon, KO that stoppage in the 5th round, I think it will be done midway through against Joe Hughes. So the co-feature event then, again another twatting fight, is Peter McQuill, 9 wins and 1 defeat, up against Brad Foster, 15 wins, 3 defeats and 2 draws. In the 122-pound division, 10 3-minute rounds as well, 10 3-minute rounds in the super bantamweight division. And for me, a bit like George Liddard and George Davey, it could steal the show. In my opinion. So I'm looking at George Liddard, George Davey and Peter McQuill, Brad Foster as probably the fights of the card for me. As the fight of the card, in my opinion, in terms of close and competitiveness. Peter McQuill, Brad Foster, having again that's going to be another pittance fight like George Liddard and George Davey. The only worry for Brad Foster is he's been inactive since 2023. He's been inactive since 2023, which is why I do favour Peter McQuill in this fight. And once the fight doors on, you may see Brad Foster inactiveness show once the fight doors on. But we'll wait and see. A lot of people might go for points between McQuill and Foster. It is one of them pit and fights, but I'm going to go for Peter McQuill to actually get a 8 stoppage on Brad Foster. I'm going to go for Peter McQuill to get an 8-round stoppage win on Brad Foster. So the main event then is Rhiannon Dixon defending her WBO World Lightweight title against Terri Harper. Against Terri Harper, of course. Rhiannon Dixon 10-0 record. Terri Harper, who's been a multiple world champion, of course. 14 wins, 2 defeats, 2 draws. My opinions on this fight, I don't like Terri Harper chopping down personally. I know Terri Harper, obviously, she's trying to create legacy, of course, by becoming a world champion yet again. Terri Harper. But for me, I don't think she should be stepping down, in my opinion, back to lightweight, which suits Rhiannon Dixon in this fight. It should suit Rhiannon Dixon's the more natural lightweight now, while Terri Harper is probably 2 weights above, to be honest with you, and she's stepping down, using them 3 pounds as well. And Terri Harper, she's been accused of being boring to watch. Her fights have been boring to watch. I understand that. I do understand that, without trying to be rude. Obviously, points is the only verdict on this, with all due respect. In my opinion. And then, be a pit and fight. It'll be a pit and fight then, between Dixon and Harper. I do think Harper will win a couple of rounds of Dixon, but I would expect Dixon to win the fight. She's a more natural lightweight, while Terri Harper's fighting, stepping down, isn't she, to lightweight as well. Terri Harper, quite lucky against Perthouse, in my opinion, quite lucky, because I thought Perthouse, if there was a winner in that fight, I thought Perthouse won that fight for me. And Terri Harper obviously got stopped early by Sandy Ryan as well. This is why you don't step down, in my opinion. Don't step down and weight division. So Rhiannon Dixon could actually get a stoppage potentially. I wouldn't be shocked if Rhiannon Dixon gets a stoppage, but I don't want to be hard saying it's going to be a boring fight, but Terri Harper, for me, she makes the fights boring. And by the way, there's nothing wrong with that. She knows how to win boring fights, Terri Harper. But she's stepping down for me to lightweight, which I don't favour Dixon in this fight. If this was at Terri Harper's weight division, then I would actually favour Terri Harper. But for me, I'm going to go for Rhiannon Dixon to do more of the work. I think she will do more of the punch stats as well. Punch and jab stats as well. And I'm going to go for Rhiannon Dixon to win on points against Terri Harper. So, feel free to leave your predictions down below for all these 4 fights down below in the comments. And basically, it's basically Sandy Ryan, Mateo Mayer, and Rhiannon Dixon versus Terri Harper, who are going to be the main headliners on the respective cards. So, feel free to leave your thoughts down below in the comments, and your predictions down below in the comments. Take care, stay safe, and see you later.